With Krakoa no more and the X-Men no longer seeing eye to eye, Logan has decided to reconnect with his animal self, but when an enemy from the past rears his ugly head once again, everything is set to change. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Wolverine issue number 1, the From Ashes kickoff to this brand new series courtesy of Saladin Ahmed. So then, as we join the book proper, we see what became of Wolverine after telling Cyclops to suck it near the end of the first new X-Men book. It seems that Logan opted to return to Canada, specifically the Northwest Territories, a place known for its beauty as well as its barrenness. It was there our favorite knucklehead chose to get naked and join up with a pack of wolves, so you know, it's been a pretty wild couple of months. Little does our hero know, though, he's actually being hunted right now by a foe from his past, Silas Burr, aka Cyber. Don't know who this guy is? Well, he's a 90s X-Men creation, who actually has a really long and storied history with not only Wolverine but his family. You see, like Logan, this guy was also able to cheat death, meaning that he's been a Pinkerton and was even Wolverine's commanding officer in the Canadian military during World War II when they were both on the very real Devil's Brigade. He also had a hand in the early training of Daken, Wolverine's son, and even worked for Romulus, that guy who looks like Wolverine and was kind of Wolverine's father and father to all the other weird feral Wolverine types out there, if you remember. Cyber is also an inverse of Wolverine. Logan has adamantium bones, this guy has adamantium skin, and he uses that adamantium skin to kill a bunch of Mounties, and yes, this is what the RCMP actually looks like today. They don't always wear the red and the Dudley Do-Right hat. It seems that Cyber had actually been planning to kill Wolverine for a long time, but knew he could never do it while he was safe and sound on Krakoa. But now that the island is no more, Silas has decided to take his shot. Now, it's not just Silas who is hunting down Wolverine either, as we check on in with Nightcrawler. Kurt, as always, is a sensitive and sympathetic soul who worries about Wolverine throwing himself out in the wilderness. Obviously, he's not dealing with the fall of Krakoa well, and he's not handling his emotions well either. Indeed, it seems that Nightcrawler is also the best at what he does, and what he does is care. Aww. When Kurt does eventually stumble upon Wolverine, he almost gets himself stabbed. It seems that Wolverine is in something of a berserk rage right now following his wolves' murder. No doubt will be the first of many attempts by Cyber to try and get Wolverine out in the open. Nightcrawler does everything he can to try and talk Wolverine back into joining society, saying that, hey, all of us mutants are trying our hardest to get back out there. And whether he likes to admit it or not, Logan is actually one of the most respected mutant leaders out there right now, and they could all really use his help, as things are as bad for mutant kind now as they've ever been. At first, Wolverine wants to blow Nightcrawler off, but what with his wolves and eventually the discovering of a bunch of dead Mounties, it's one of those situations where the harder Wolverine tries to get out, the harder they pull him back in, bub. With Nightcrawler and Wolverine officially on the case, they follow the trail of bodies left by Cyber to a group of regular old campers. At first, they're overjoyed to see Nightcrawler and Wolverine, thinking, hey, it's superheroes, it's Avengers, they'll help us. Only to quickly turn on them the second they find out they're mutants. Hey, you guys are freaks and weirdos. I bet my friend was murdered by the guy with the metal arms because of you. Yep, no other reason. God, you gotta love that Saladin Ahmed is just calling it out right here in issue 1. Anti-mutant bigotry is really freaking weird in a world filled with superheroes, right? The people here really are just that stupid and just that fickle and will literally chop off their nose to spite their own face when it means differentiating mutants from other superpowered individuals. Wolverine wants to leave these guys as punishment, but Nightcrawler says that the X-Men need to start acting like heroes again and tries to talk them into getting to safety. And what does he get for his trouble? Oh, just shot in the back by Cyber, who was actually waiting nearby with a sniper rifle for the perfect opportunity to once again try and force Wolverine out in the opening, good and pissed off. Logan tries his hardest to stop Kirk's bleeding before eventually heading back out into the icy Canadian tundra for a one-on-one confrontation with this foe who's been dogging him. And you know what, it's probably right up until this point you're all saying to yourself, well, this has been pretty good, pretty enjoyable for a new Wolverine story, but it's not exactly anything I haven't seen before, and you would be right, but it's right around here though the book really starts changing as the internal monologue actually switches over to a person we don't see. Someone who might not actually be a person at all. You see, Wolverine's fighting with Cyber causes a lot of adamantium adamantium to strike adamantium. This clash ends up creating a very unique sound that reverberates throughout the entire area and even deep underground, where we see a strange otherworldly metal deposit begin to wake up. This stuff is gold, and it claims to be the actual true form of adamantium, a powerful metal once wielded by great heroes, but has now in the intervening centuries been corrupted, turned into a false metal, if you will. In fact, the term false metal is mentioned a couple times, so I'm sure it's going to be important later. Wolverine naturally ends up winning his battle against Cyber. He even cuts out the opposite eye to the one he had cut out in a previous adventure. In fact, Wolverine probably would have finished Cyber off once and for all for what might have been the third or fourth time, depending on how you count it. But ultimately, when given the choice between chasing after Cyber or going back to rescue Nightcrawler, Wolverine naturally chooses to try and help his friend, proving that Kurt's faith in him was not ultimately misplaced. And hey, in a fun twist too, it seems that Kurt has already been seen to by a doctor. She was actually one of those shitty people from the camp before, who, again, despite their previous interaction, shows that us regular everyday humans are also worth a damn when we're given a chance. It's around here the comic starts winding down. Wolverine has his classic John Wick moment where he basically goes, "Everyone keeps asking me if I'm back, and well, yeah, I guess I'm kinda back, bub." But that's not where the story really ends. You see, we once again check back on in with Cyber, who, injured, slinks into one of those caves I mentioned earlier. It's here he kind of gets absorbed by that weird gold metal. His eyes start to glow, and all the silver adamantium on his body also changes color. How about that? And so that was Wolverine issue number 1, everybody, and I gotta say, I was really pleasantly surprised by this brand new kickoff to a brand new era in the Knucklehead. I've mentioned it time and time again, but Saladin Ahmed has kind of garnered this reputation as a writer who always seems to be filling big shoes on series that just had definitive runs, be it when he started writing Miss Marvel after G. Willow Wilson, started writing Daredevil after Chip Zdarsky, and now we have him here trying to chart a brand new course for Wolverine after probably one of the longest, most consistent runs that was Benjamin Percy across not just Wolverine, but also the X-Factor book. How does he do? Actually, I think he does really damn well here. Ahmed has been refining his gruff action hero voice for a while now, and I like what he does with Wolverine. More than anything, though, I like that he is sure to bring Nightcrawler along as a moral sounding board and fun supporting character, a relationship I hope we continue to see explored as the series goes on. Obviously, I'm a big fan of deep cuts, and Cyber was a character I haven't thought about in forever, yet he's a character with so much history involving Wolverine to pull on, and that's what the story does. This first issue also seeks to imply that they're going to be shaking up and changing everything we think we know about adamantium, which is admittedly a pretty bold undertaking, but a journey that I will be happy to take. Overall, I would actually give this one a very strong 9 out of 10. Big ups for the art team on this one too. Martín Cóccolo and Brian Valenza do an absolutely amazing job having this first issue pop, and I hope we can keep this sort of artistic consistency moving forward, because if so, I think we'll have a real AAA book on our hands.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.